Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Alabama Reloader here again. So I just wanted to provide an update on the ladder test for the 6mm Creedmoor. It's the Ruger American Predator chambered in 6mm Creedmoor. So started off looking for some load development. I had a pretty good load worked up for Hornady 108 grain ELD match, and yeah, that was grouping pretty tight out to 400 yards. I was getting groups less than 2 inches out to 400 yards, and so that was obviously performing really well out of that rifle. For the cost of the rifle, that's pretty freaking good, if you ask me. So, but I wanted to switch to a more hunting style round and settled on the Burger. I believe it's the 90, I got them right here, what is it, 95 grain VLD hunting round, hunting bullet that Burger makes. So started off first go around, I actually worked up 3-shot groups on the first go around on the load development, and didn't really have anything great to write home about. You know, the loads, just the groups just weren't exactly what I was expecting. I know Burger's known for accuracy, and I just wasn't seeing it when, you know, obviously on the 108s, of course match grade on the Hornady stuff, but Burger's supposed to be very well in terms of accuracy and precision and all that, even with their hunting rounds. That's something that they're supposedly known for. So I was a little disappointed in the groupings that I got on that first round load development. So took a step back, worked with my brother on ladder test. We went out to the range. I actually worked up, if I can find my book, I'll tell you exactly how everything went down. So started, let's see here. So yeah, so of course, you know, loading Burger 95 grain VLD Hunter bullets using the Federal large rifle, the match primers, the gold medal match. I'm using Hornady brass. The powder is Hodgdon H4350. According to their load data online, starting is 39.5 grains, working up to a 44 grain max. And so for the ladder test, I started at the 39.5 and then worked my way up to 44 in 3/10 of grain increments, and that actually worked out to 16 shots, so 16 rounds for the ladder test. And the grouping there, that's a 3-inch shoot and see target right next to it, so you can see how tightly all 16 shots actually grouped, which was pretty impressive, or at least I think it is, to be able to have a group that tight using 16 different powder loads. We obviously have some in this area here that grouped really well. So that was actually the first shot, and then second shot, and it basically trended up from there. The point of aim was right here, by the way. It was on the green dot right there, the green in the number 9. That was where where I was aiming for every shot, and everything was in the gun was in a vise or a sled, so everything was pretty secure. You know, I might have pulled the trigger a little too much one way or the other in terms of, I'm sure there's some inaccuracy built in there just based on me, but for the most part everything was pretty consistent. Wind was consistent, the whole nine. All the factors, all the variables seemed to be not too crazy that day that we did this. I think it was this past Saturday. So yeah, so the one right there on the shoot and see target, that's the 39.5 grains, and then at the very bottom, right next to the 9, that's the 39.8, and then basically it just stepped its way up from there. And pretty much what I found out is this tight group right in here, it's about a 4 to 5 shot group right here. That actually starts at 41 grains. That's where it seems like the next 3 to 4 rounds all grouped right in there, and it was 41, 41.3, 41.6, and 41.9. So I believe that's 4. Yeah, I believe it was 4 shots right there. So those 4 grain weights. So I'm basically looking at 41, between 41 and 42 grains is what I can narrow down and start to work with, start to develop a load. So also these were loaded out, overall length was loaded out pretty long, 2.805, and you know, the manual calls for 2.650, so obviously I'm pretty good ways over the overall length on what the manual calls for. I didn't see any issues whatsoever with that coming from the firearm itself or anything of that nature. So we're going to continue to load to that length. Seems like obviously we have some pretty good accurate groupings there, even with different powder loads. So we're going to stick with that, and I'm about to actually load up, starting with the 41 grains, and I'll load up probably in 3/10 of a grain increments again, and just repeat this process with 41 through 42, and see how that works. Might go down to 2/10. That way I can just sort of have an additional load in there, 3-shot group, and I may actually go to 5-shot groups. I hadn't decided yet, but yeah. So I'm pretty pleased with the ladder test. Way more pleased with it than I was the initial load development, and so now I actually have a starting point and I can work up from there. So pretty pleased with it. Again, this is going to be used, this rifle and bullet combination and all that fun stuff. It's going to be used primarily for whitetail and coyote hunting. So I don't really hunt with a gun that much, to be honest with you. I think I only hunted last season, I think a total of 4 days with a rifle. So you know, I don't hunt much with a rifle. I bow hunt. I either use a compound bow or a crossbow for the most part. So but when the time comes for it and I am able to hunt with a gun, you know, obviously I want to make sure I'm as accurate as possible, as precise as possible. That way when I know, you know, I deliver a round down range, hey, it's going to hit exactly where I want it to, going to make a clean shot on an animal, and game over, fun stuff. So but that's it. That was the results of the ladder test. So I'm about to work up some more rounds, and so I'll have another round of load development coming for the 6mm, and we'll see how tightly we can get these things to group. Also, real quick, I had another good round of load development with the 450 Bushmaster. This is primarily geared towards the 6mm Creedmoor, but that 450 continues to impress me. Between that and my 308, yeah, those are going to be my go-to rifles of choice, basically. I mean, if you tell me, hey, you have to make a shot, you know, within a certain distance, it's going to be the 308 or the 450, or at least until I can get this 6mm dialed in. So, but overall, really pleased with it. Had a good weekend out at the range. So just leave me a comment or whatever. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever done a ladder test, what your thoughts are on it. So, or if you have a load that you like for the 6mm Creedmoor, maybe, you know, something where you're not using 4350. I know it's a little bit harder to find in some places. It took me quite a while to track it down, but I was finally able to locate it here locally, so that way I don't have to order it online. And I bought an 8-pound container of it, so I've got enough to last me a while. But if you've got something worked up, you know, just let me know what it is. So appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.